problem is London has a woefully inadequate infrastructure for cycling. We've got thousands of people killed or injured by vehicles every year. Under Boris, it's estimated that traffic's going to go up 60% by 2030, and I'm afraid a £30 billion road under London is not the solution. We also in this borough have air pollution, which is 70% above World Health Organization guidelines. 7% of deaths in London are from air pollution, so it's a lot more than cycling. So I think there's an opportunity to solve both air pollution and cycling in our city. We can't have a car-centric city and a cycle-centric city. They just can't exist together, I don't think. Greens have been championing cycling for over a decade in the London Assembly. Jenny Jones was telling me that she used to put forward proposals for bicycles 10 years ago, and they used to laugh at her. You know, who's this crazy woman saying we should have loads of cyclists in London? So things have obviously changed quite a lot. We're going to need a multi-level approach, something that can combine technology, planning and common sense to protect lives from the problems we're facing in London. Greens in the European Parliament recently voted for a change in lorry designs to make them safer and able to see bicycles better, and they've also stopped the introduction of 25-metre lorries, so that's quite a big deal that Green MEPs have been part of that process. Greens on the London Assembly also pushed for the ultra-low emission zone, which unfortunately Boris has now pushed back to 2020. There's all these ideas, you know, £30 billion for a road under London, it won't be built for 20, 30 years. So we need solutions now. As someone earlier mentioned, the 20-mile-an-hour limits in Islington, the Greens were a very big force in pushing that through. And of course we do have quite a lot of roads in town that's at 20 miles an hour, but obviously we'd like to see that extended. So our local manifesto calls for priority for cyclists and pedestrians at all road junctions. So any new road junctions, we need to prioritise them. Anyone who's seen the Bethnal Green Road cycle lane outside my house, which is basically a little bit of the pavement, doesn't even have a bicycle sign on it, shows that common sense is quite often lacking in the way we plan things. In fact, it was so bad they actually put the cycle lane where the parking ticket machine was, and they had to actually move the parking ticket machine after someone had pointed it out. In terms of air pollution, we want to see pollution masks for children, smog alerts in schools. We want to see a massive programme of tree planting in our borough and London-wide. We'd also think that the creation of more allotments will help ease air pollution. And there's a great plan for the forest garden at Bishopsgate Goodyard, which has been developed, which the developers have now pulled back on, and they're putting forward quite measly plans. We think that's an amazing opportunity. It's a really big space that could be used as a public park and forest area, which will soak up an awful lot of pollution. Let's also see a massive increase in secure bike parking spaces. We don't really have any of those. They're just kind of just lampposts and stuff like that. So we need to see much more integration of that. Someone else was talking about school children need somewhere to keep their bikes, absolutely. And why can't we change the nature of lorry use in London? What's it? Why can't we have overnight deliveries to Tesco, Starbucks and McDonald's? Let's make them 24 hours. And actually that would be great, because if you have people working in those stores overnight, you're going to give them more jobs, and frankly the money those companies pay is so bad people need the wages. So let's change the dynamics of how our city operates in terms of deliveries and trucks, move them out of the daytime, get them to do it overnight. And at the very least, let's ban heavy goods vehicles from narrow side roads. We need to legally enforce the no idling for cabs, so that they don't keep leaving their engines running. If anyone goes around Liverpool Street Station, it's just horrific, the amount of pollution, and it's actually legal. On a wider level, the Greens Manifesto in 2012 for London called upon a gas guzzler charge for the most inefficient private vehicles. We proposed a pay-as-you-drive scheme to reduce traffic. We want a continuation of separate spaces for bicycles. Let's get rid of those blue lines. What a joke, terrible idea. Let's expand cycle training. A lot of inexperienced cyclists on the road, especially since the Bartley Bike Hire scheme came in. We want to extend pedestrian zones across London, which again was in the 2012 plans. We have a greenway across the whole of London. And I think we also need to push for cyclists to have mandatory working lights on them. Because I'm a driver and I'm a cyclist, and the amount of people I see without lights on at night, it's really dangerous. So we have to take, as a cyclist, we have to take some responsibility. So we've got a very expensive public transport system. We need to make it cheaper so more people go onto public transport, stop using private cars. And we need smarter roads that prioritise the traffic flows in favour of cyclists and pedestrians, that can adapt minute by minute. There's some amazing technology out there for smarter digital roads that will be much more what we need to control things on the roads. So we need a 21st century set of solutions for a 21st century city. We just saw another death at Elephant and Castle Roundabout. Boris last year said cyclists need to keep their wits about them at the Elephant and Castle Roundabout. Now he has blood on his hands. So please do think about giving Green a go. Give some more MEPs in European Parliament. Thank you very much.